Hi guys, it's Leah. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I am starting the vlog today sat on my floor because I want to be comfortable. I haven't filmed a weekly vlog for what feels like months. I don't actually know how long it has been, but at least I would say a month or two, and I've definitely missed it. I wanted to film one last week, but last week was incredibly chaotic and I was in a really bad reading slump in May, so I wasn't actively reading, so I thought I would wait until the week was done and I have time to read, so here we are. So as much as the past couple of weeks have definitely been quite chaotic and I have been incredibly busy, last week I went to Hay Festival, which was an absolute dream come true. I actually haven't taken off my artist wristband yet, not for any particular reason other than the fact I don't want to like cut it. I want to try and get it off and it stay intact, so I need to do that today. If you don't know what Hay Festival is, it is like a literature festival in Hay-on-Wye in Wales. Hay-on-Wye is like the book town. There is like over 20 bookshops, so it said there is a bookshop for every 50 to 70 residents. It is a tiny town in Wales, like the perfect oasis for book lovers, and I was very lucky that I went with TikTok this year. I did film a couple of clips on my camera. I didn't film too much just because obviously I was going with TikTok, so a lot of the content I did film there are TikToks, which if you do want to watch, my account is here. But I think on the first day especially, I did get a couple of clips of me reading outside in the countryside, and I miss so much basking in the Welsh countryside. The weather that day too was dreamy, and it was just every single thing like I could picture and imagine when it came to reading in the Welsh countryside. It was incredible, so I will include like some clips at the end of this little update. So that was last week. I got back about 3 days ago now and I already miss it so much. I met so many incredible people, so many people who I've spoken with over TikTok but never in person, so it was so lovely to finally meet people and hang out with people. I also did a panel. I spoke on stage at a panel at Hay Festival with Jack, Holly and Coco, which was, I mean, another dream come true. It was so much fun. I obviously, like, we've been new, love talking about books, but talking about like content creating in books and especially like the rise of book talk, it was such an engaging and fascinating conversation to be a part of, let alone to be listening to it. And oh my god, like I just loved it so much. I can't wait to hopefully return next year. I did actually start Yellow Face on the journey there because it was 8 hours to get there and 8 hours back, which was a journey but so incredibly worth it. But I finished Yellow Face whilst I was there. I'm not going to talk about it too much in this clip because I have finished it and I speak about it a lot in my May wrap up, and I also have a whole review for it on my TikTok if you do want to check it out. But absolutely loved it, so worth the hype. If you haven't read it yet, I would definitely recommend. But now I don't know what to read. I am currently reading, which is my new current obsession, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, alongside everyone else. I completely gave into the FOMO. Initially I wasn't really sure what I would think about it because obviously I don't read that much fantasy, but this has potential to become my new all-time favorite fantasy. I am listening to the audiobook on Libby and I am currently 80% of the way through, so I have read the majority of it now, and so worth the hype. Oh my god, I am absolutely obsessed with these characters. All I am thinking about right now is this book. I need to get a physical copy because, is it part of a series? I feel like it is. I'm gonna want all of them in hardback, so I kind of need to get the physical copy. But I am loving the experience of listening to it via an audiobook. Like, I never really read fantasy anyway, but when I do, I never listen to them via the audiobook because I find it even more confusing. Sometimes when it comes to the world building, especially if I am listening to a fantasy via the audiobook, it can be a little complicated to understand because I'm not really used to it. But Fourth Wing doesn't have, or didn't have at the start, that much world building. Like, you were very much thrusted into the drama and I'm living for it. I love the fact that our protagonist has a chronic illness, the way that the chronic illness is being spoken about, and the fact that it just doesn't hinder like her experience of trying to become a dragon rider or like her abilities. It doesn't hinder her in a negative way, like in comparison to what other people see. Like, they're not like, oh, she's got a chronic illness so she can't do this. And it is the most refreshing thing, especially as somebody who does have a chronic illness. In the past, when I have read like fantasy books, I kind of have this visual of being like, well, you know, I would never be like that because I have a chronic illness. A lot of of heroines in fantasy are constantly go 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 and so adventurous, and naturally having a chronic illness would affect that in some way or another. So the fact that now there is this incredibly popular fantasy book which has a protagonist with a chronic illness and we are seeing her in a fantasy book, I'm obsessed. Oh, and also obsessed with Xaden, obviously. Like, I have never really understood when people would be like, oh, this is my book boyfriend, because I don't read fantasy, so I never get book boyfriends. I get it now. I understand, like, this but I have so many updates, like life updates, reading updates, everything updates. I'm moving this month because I am moving soon-ish, in the near future anyway. All of the books that I have been receiving or buying, like, I don't see the point in rearranging my bookshelves to fit them on when I'm literally gonna have to take all of this down in less than a month. So because of that, I am literally sat on my floor. I have books everywhere. So I need to decide what I want to read. I need to start packing at some point once I hopefully find a place. I don't know how long this vlog is going to be. I want it to run for this week at least. I have really missed it, and I feel like there are some really exciting things going on in my life right now, and like big changes which I definitely also want to document. So yeah, hopefully it'll be fun. But for now, I am going to pick a book to start today because I have kind of finished all of the content stuff I want to do for the day, and now I want to relax and read a little bit before I start making dinner. So yeah, let's try and find a book to read.
Liam shouts as he runs forward, darting through the crowd as he moves toward the staircase.
So I finished Fourth Wing, 5 stars. As soon as I finished it, I was working in the bookshop the next day and had to buy a physical copy because I never rate anything 5 stars, let alone a fantasy. This is absolutely my new all-time favorite fantasy book. I am so pleasantly surprised with how much I loved it because I really wasn't sure initially. Like I keep saying, I don't often read fantasy, and when a book like this is so hyped on TikTok and the FOMO really does get to me, a lot of the time it doesn't live up to it. This lives up to every single hype, every single positive comment that anyone has ever given on this book. It deserves it all. I literally cannot believe how much I loved it. The tension between the characters, especially Violet and Xaden, but also like the platonic relationships in this book and the way that we saw friendship happen in this fantasy world. I can't. The ending was incredibly sad. It made my heart like break. And I haven't felt that with a fantasy book for so long. I literally cannot believe how much I adored this. I know I'm going to keep on saying that, but I'm so pleasantly surprised that this was 5 stars and a favourite fantasy book. And it's probably going to be one of my favourites of the year. I know a lot of people like me are sometimes quite cautious when it comes to books that are this hyped, but I promise you it is worth it all. If you've been thinking about picking it up but you weren't really sure if you would like it or like if it was going to live up to the hype, I would highly recommend it. Like, you need to read it. I am so excited for the next book in this series. I think it comes out in November, I believe. But the fact that I now have a fantasy series that I can get so hyped and excited and anticipate all of the new releases in the series makes me so incredibly happy, and I may be entering my fantasy era. I did pick up another fantasy since finishing this. I'm very much in the mood for them currently, and considering I haven't had this feeling for at least a year, I feel like I need to utilize it. But Fourth Wing was 5 stars. Before I talk about the books that I am currently reading now, I did actually finish another book, and that was Eleanor Knows by Claudia Pinheiro. I'm pretty sure I showed that I had decided to pick this one up, and yesterday it was 28 degrees, so I sat in the garden in a bikini finishing and binge reading this book. It very much was not like the summer vibes that I probably should have gone for, but this book was so heart-wrenching and so beautiful. It basically follows this woman who is a mother and she has Parkinson's, and her daughter was basically found hanging in a church. Initially, when they discovered her body, there was no like form of foul play or like any suspicions that it wasn't suicide, but the mum, our mother, just doesn't believe that, and she thinks that her child was murdered. Obviously there is a lot of talk of suicide in this book. There's a lot of talk of illness and disability and religion. It is very much a story not only of this mother's grief of the loss of her child and accepting what happened to her and coming to terms with the loss, but also the complicated relationship that they had when she was alive, and it was so gut-wrenching. The writing style was so incredibly beautiful. Like I said, I kind of flew through this, so it was definitely a quick, fast-paced read, but one that definitely hurt. But it was so incredible, the commentary surrounding illness and death and like loss of ability for life, not only when you lose a child but also when you have an illness like Parkinson's. It was just beautifully written. I ended up rating it 4 stars. I'm so happy that I finally read it, because it was one that I had been dying to read for so long, and definitely wasn't what I thought it was going to be like, but in a very good, pleasantly surprised way. So 4 stars, I would recommend this one also. So my current reads, I'm currently reading 3 books. I don't know how this happened. One minute I was in a reading slump, the next I want to read every single genre imaginable. I'm not far through any of these really at all, but the first one that I picked up yesterday was August Blue by Deborah Levy. I've spoken about this book so many times recently on this channel because I keep putting it in all of my TBRs. It is in my June TBR, actually stuck to it, and it was also in my 5-star predictions video, and I am currently 45 pages of the way through. I feel like this is going to be a really quick read because I don't know if you can see how big the text is, and it's not that long of a book anyway. And so far I am enjoying it. It is quite different to what I was expecting, kind of like Eleanor Knows, but this book, the writing style is astonishing. Exactly what I was kind of picturing with Deborah Levy, which I'm so enjoying. But the way that it started, I just don't know where it is going to go, which is probably a good thing because it's making me more enticed to pick it up, which I am loving. But the writing style currently is definitely the standout for me right now. Like I said, I'm definitely going to read more of this today. I'm probably going to fly through it, but that is August Blue. Another book that I am currently reading is Girl Crush by Florence Given. I don't have the dust jacket on, but the reason that I'm currently reading this is I am chairing a event that I'm doing at the bookshop with Florence Given. It is to celebrate the paperback release of Girl Crush, so obviously I need to read it beforehand, and it's one that has been on my TBR for a while, so I'm very excited to actually be getting into this. This one I am currently 35 pages of the way through, so again, not very far through at all. I am loving where it is currently. It is very interesting. It is like a dark feminist retelling of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which I love, one of my favorite classics. So I'm really intrigued to see like where and how that is going to start coming into play, but so far I am enjoying it. Obviously I'm really looking forward to chairing the event and interviewing Florence Given, and yeah, that should be fun. And then the last book that I'm currently reading, which I actually started yesterday, another fantasy book, Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. Podder and Stoughton very kindly sent me the proof copy for this. It comes out on the 25th of July, and after finishing Fourth Wing, I was just craving another fantasy and I didn't really know what to pick up. I do have like a handful of fantasy books on my TBR, but none of them were kind of calling to me. Remembered that I got this. Again, only 27 pages of the way through. I started this very late last night after finishing the clips for this video so far. And honestly, if it wasn't late, I definitely would have carried it on because I love the way that this has started out. It is definitely given like fantasy Hunger Games. I'm just so excited to carry on reading it. It basically follows this princess called Carla, who is like the niece of the king, I think, who is kind of evil and wicked. Yeah, she's been in hiding for 5 years, and she basically wants to seek revenge on her uncle, who is king, because he is kind of the reason that her parents die. But basically there is this like game that happens in the city where at the moment I think it's 88 people kind of go in they kill one another, the winner meets the king. So her kind of ploy is that she's going to be involved in these games. She's kind of like put herself forward so she can meet him and finally kill him. But other than Carla, we also have Anton, who is a guy in the city whose childhood lover is like laying in a coma. He can obviously kind of help her come out of the coma, so Anton wants to go into the games for that reason. They're obviously going to meet, and I feel like there's probably going to be a little bit of like lover situation going on. But obviously, as these things go, there can only be one winner in the game, so I don't know which one it's going to be because they both want to win, and I'm so excited to carry it on. I'm loving the writing style so far. It's so captivating and engaging. And oh my god, I didn't even say what the magic system is like. There are basically some people in the city that can kind of like hop souls or hop out of their body into another person's body, but it's somewhat forbidden. Not that many people can do it, and when someone does do it, there is like a flash of light, so everyone around is aware that someone has just done this magic, although it is kind of forbidden in the city. So I'm loving that element because it is a fantasy kind of system that I have never seen in a fantasy book before, and I can just imagine what it's going to cause in the future. But yeah, considering I'm only 27 pages of the way through, I have very high hopes for this. I am in such a fantasy mood, which makes me so happy. But yeah, those are my current reads. In terms of other updates, when I first started this vlog, I kind of briefly mentioned that I'm moving at the end of this month, but it wasn't 100% confirmed. Now the place that we're moving into kind of has been confirmed, which is very exciting. So obviously I'm going to be moving at the end of the month. I kind of want to film like moving content, moving vlogs. Definitely want to do like a bookshelf tour, although my bookshelves are very messy, and knowing that I was going to be moving, I didn't really see the point in tidying them or reorganizing them. But I do want to do like a bookshelf tour before I move, because I can imagine that they're going to look fairly different once I'm in the new place. So that is definitely one video that I want to film before I move, but I don't know about the moving content. If it is something that you want to see, please let me know. I know I eat up moving vlogs and moving content so much, so I can imagine it being quite fun to film. I did do a video a couple of years ago, just one when I was moving different student accommodation. I did one video of me like packing and kind of reorganizing, but not really proper moving content. So if that is something you want to see, definitely let me know and I will do it. But that means that I need to start packing, so you might see a little bit of that in this video, but I might also of course do its own. But yeah, right now it is Sunday the 11th of June and it is my weekend off from work, so I think I want to film a couple of TikToks and then relax. I'm gonna see my boyfriend, but I also want to get a little bit of reading done today, because yesterday was definitely a day where all I did was read outside in the sun. I feel like that's exactly what I needed to kind of get me out of my reading slump, and now all I want to do is read, especially Immortal Longings. So yeah, that is the plan for today. I'm sure I will update you when I have read a little bit more, when I have done a little bit more today, and I'll see you in a bit. Hi Harry.
Hi, Harry.
This is our room tour. This is Daisy. We've got some teas.
What's the view like?
We've got a spec fridge.
It's a good size, isn't it?
Very good size. We got a bed here and we got a bed here. And a massive TV.
That's bloody massive.
So I actually haven't spoken to this vlog for a good couple of days. I have been so busy. I have been in and out of London pretty much all week, it feels. I came back from London about 20 minutes ago. Today I went to the immersive experience for Outlander, which was so much fun. I did some axe throwing, albeit very poor axe throwing, but that was really fun. And 2 days ago I also saw Harry. Wembley night one was a dream. Our set list was... I can't even. The post-concert depression is really hitting hard. I saw Harry Wembley night one last year, so getting to see him again Wembley night one this year was incredible, and it literally somehow surpassed last year. We also stayed over in London after Harry got home, was recovering, had a flat viewing. So it's just been a very busy couple of days and I haven't spoken to the camera. With that being said too, it means that I actually haven't had that much time to read, which is a shame, but I feel like at the minute everything is so busy, so I'm trying not to feel too much pressure and put too much pressure on myself. But yeah, it's been a very fun couple of days. I did film a couple of clips here and there, but for the most part I just wanted to enjoy it all, and that I definitely did. I cannot believe that Harry pulled out Little Freak, Wembley night one and Medicine. I literally still haven't recovered. I genuinely thought that I was gonna have no voice the next day. I mean, my throat was pretty gone the next day. The day after, yesterday too, I had to go to work and I could barely speak. My voice the entire day was half gone, but to be honest, like, I'm not surprised with the way that I was screaming, crying and throwing up. And honestly, I got to hear Fine Line live. I can die happy. So yeah, that is what has been going on the past couple of days. Right now, my best friends and I have just ordered Starbucks, which I can actually hear. I think it's outside. Okay, yeah, that was the Starbucks. Hopefully the delivery driver didn't hear me, but yeah, we ordered Starbucks because it is so hot and we want to sit outside and read. First bit of reading I'm probably going to do in this entire vlog, and I think I'm going to carry on Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. I haven't read anything more since I last updated you, and I have been dying to carry this on, so I'll either read this one or pick up more of August Blue by Deborah Levy. I'm not too sure which one I'll read, but whichever one takes my fancy once I'm out there. And yeah, that is the plan. I will bring you with me. So today is Monday the 19th of June and I'm finally gonna finish this vlog because it has been going on since the start of the month. It's no longer a weekly reading vlog at this point, it's a monthly reading vlog, and I want to start another one today. The start of June has definitely been a slow one in terms of reading. I really haven't read that much this month in terms of when I started this vlog. I have read a little bit more of August Blue. I'm only 75 pages of the way through, so I really haven't read that much more. I haven't read any more of Immortal Longings, which is a massive shame. I just haven't really been reading a lot recently, and I think that is definitely down to the fact that there is a lot going on right now, especially in terms of moving. I've had a lot of trips to London, which I'm very incredibly thankful for, but I haven't been able to read, so I haven't been able to vlog it. With that being said though, I have had so much fun the past couple of weeks in June and the end of May, and when I started this vlog, I feel like this vlog is probably one of my favourite ones that I have uploaded for a really long time, and I hope that you guys also enjoyed watching it. I'm very sorry that I didn't finish Immortal Longings nor August Blue in this vlog. I hate starting a new vlog when I haven't finished books that I was reading in the previous one, but if you do want to find out my thoughts, hopefully I will finish them in the next one if I actually get time to read. If you do also want to see things like the moving content, I definitely want to film my bookshelf tour before moving, but with time's sake and how soon it is kind of scarily approaching. I don't know if it's going to be possible though. I'm definitely going to try. Let me know if you want to see stuff like that and I will try my best to do them. But yeah, again, I really hope that you did enjoy this video and seeing what I got up to at the start of June, albeit not a lot of reading. But yeah, again, I really hope that you did enjoy this video. Thank you so much for being here and for watching. As always, I have all of my socials linked down in the description box below. I have my TikTok, my Instagram, my Goodreads, and and a lot more. And yeah, a massive thank you as always again for being here, and I will see you again very soon with another video.